I built my Clash Royale deck using emotes. Yo, what's going on guys, Ian77 here. In today's video we're going to be using a deck made fully out of emotes that I have on this account. Alright, so I basically tried to build the deck as similar to Hog EQ as I could, but I did have to sub out the actual EQ for a rocket, and did make a few changes as well, but looks like a pretty fun deck and gonna be nice to try something new. Alright, so this guy's probably going to be running Logbait here. He does have Cannon though, which is kind of interesting. I guess he'll have like a really fast cycle version of it maybe, or something like that. It is nice that Cannon has seen a bit of a comeback recently. Really good for any EQ player, because Earthquake is just so good against like stuff like Cannon and Tombstone, so always love to see it. But we aren't playing EQ here, so I don't have that luxury. And by the way guys, this isn't like part of the video necessarily, but I'm going to try to use emotes after I play each card. Probably can't really do it on time, but I'll try to either use it before or after. Just as a little challenge, nothing serious here. Alright, and how have you guys been doing lately? I've been doing pretty well with pretty much everything, to be honest. I feel like I've just been improving in a lot of things, and school going pretty well, content going pretty well, and pretty much everything going pretty well, to be honest. So yeah, nice to see, nice to see. Alright, so in this first match here, okay, we're gonna take a ton of chip damage from that Dart Goblin. I'm gonna log his cannon though, because he placed it in a spot where I could log his tower and the cannon, and it does allow us to get one hog hit there, so at least we get some chip damage back. We don't have like a Valkyrie or something, so if we waste our log, we don't really have any good way to counter his barrel though, which is the only kind of issue here. But I guess we can always just rocket cycle him even if we can't break through with the hogs, so that's always going to be an option here. And Firecracker will get us some nice chip here, so just have to keep up with this. And it is actually really hard to use emotes and play cards. I'm actually struggling quite a bit here, but let's see what we can do. Okay, so he does fail the King Tower activation, so looking pretty good here for us. He's going to go with a Juke Barrel, but going to catch it, and probably just going to rocket in here, because I already have a Firecracker down, so no reason not to. And okay, he does have Rocket as well, so going to be a little bit more interesting here. Kind of just going to be who can cycle more rockets quicker, but hopefully we can get like a bit of a hog connection or something to hopefully get in the lead there. And I think that Dart Goblin will die to the rocket, so maybe a bit of a misplay by him there. And he does go with the rocket as well, but I'm just going to try to attack here. Hopefully can break through. I mean, Cannon is a pretty good defense against Hog, but sometimes you can break through if you commit a good amount to it. Alright, so and honestly guys, this deck is actually pretty good here. Like if you're struggling against like beatdown decks like Golem or Lava Hound, this deck is like a really easy counter to it. And I did do a video on Lumberloon recently, so if you guys hate that deck a lot, you can definitely try to run this deck, because it is really good against that too, with the bats and the rocket and all of that stuff. Alright, so I might actually try to get a Firecracker down on his cannon in a second. It will get us like a bit of chip damage on his tower, and he did play a pretty light cannon, so we might be able to outcycle his cannon and get like a hog hit if we're lucky. Alright, and that's actually going to be GG here. Was pretty difficult using emotes, but hey, pretty nice win. Alright, hopping in the next game here, we're going to have a pretty interesting starting hand here. This deck doesn't have quite as fast of a cycle as normal, so we do have to be a bit more careful with using our cards. And looks like this guy does have Ghost, so probably can already assume that it's going to be some kind of Breach spam deck. And the nice thing about having Rocket is that, I know it didn't really apply in this game, but a lot of the time they'll just play like a Sparky behind their tower, like a Queen behind their tower when they see you have like probably like a Hog EQ deck they expect, but then you have that Rocket, and then it just does a ton of work. And I'm just hoping we don't have to have like a super defense playing like 10 cards down at once, otherwise I'll just die trying to use the emotes for all of those cards. Alright, I'm gonna just let that Inferno Tower die here. The Mega Knight should jump on it, so we might be able to activate King Tower here with skeletons. And yeah, looks like we do get it off, so that's gonna help us out a ton. Also, Inferno Tower is really good compared to Tesla or something against the MK Randex, just because even though they have lightning, like, it still is gonna, like, burn it down really fast if they don't lightning right away, and it still survives the lightning as well. And, alright, and we're just gonna get a high Firecracker here on the Queen. Always a really good play to do that if you don't want to use your Knight or something on their Queen. Always, like, either will force out the really early ability, making the Queen kind of useless, or it just will pretty much fully counter it most of the time. But it is always better to go with the Firecrackers, like, in the opposite lane of the Queen. That way the Queen won't be actually, like, targeting the Firecracker as it walks forward. And you only need, like, something like a log or something to finish off the Queen, usually, if they end up using the ability or whatever. Alright, so really good start here. I was originally gonna start using the emotes, like, before playing all of my cards, but seeing, like, how fast I'm gonna need to have, or, like, how fast reaction times I'll need against this guy, I don't really think that's possible to do here, so just gonna settle for playing the emote mostly after they play a card. Alright, we do have to watch out for his lightning here. He could use it in a second. Looks like he won't use it though. I don't really see how he's gonna break through when we have the king activated. And the really nice thing about Rocket as well is that you can kind of just, like, spell cycle if they go same lane. So, like, if he starts going with Mega Knights in the back, we can actually just Rocket it and get away with it pretty easily here. And yeah, so we just need, like, a couple of rockets and a few logs as well. But he does keep wasting his Ram Rider on offense, so we might be able to get, like, a hog through, hopefully. Alright, if we get, like, one more hog hit, that'll be GG, but looks like we don't quite get it here, so we're gonna have to hope we can get some, like, Firecracker chip damage, and then a rocket should nearly finish it off. Alright. I feel like I pretty much actually hit every single emote for all the cards I played, except of a few. I did go with some light as well, but better than I expected here. And he will have to go with, like, a Mega Knight or a Ram Rider, but just gonna allow the Firecracker to splash, so that's gonna be in rocket plus log range, so just gonna make sure I use the emotes, and that's gonna be GG here. Alright, hopping in the next game here, we're gonna be up against this guy. Alright, so I have a pretty chill starting hand here, so just gonna cycle skeletons. Gonna play bats as well, and he does have bomber, so could either be like Goblin Drill or could be some beatdown deck like E-Giant or Golem or something. Alright, so I'm just gonna hog other lane, see what he does against it. So he does go in with the NATO here, so still gonna wait for him to play a couple cards before I, like, really decide what I want to do this game. And he does have Baby Dragon. Probably just gonna bats around it. Might have to leak a couple elixir though, which is kind of unfortunate. And we're not gonna get a very good bat surround just because I didn't want to leak too much, but should be pretty fine here. It kind of does depend on what building he has as well, because it is a lot harder to face stuff like Tombstone when you have Rocket, because you can't, like, EQ it away or really spell it away very well, except with, like, a log or something. Okay, so he does have Cage plus NATO. I'm pretty sure this is actually going to be E-Giant. And Rocket is also really good against E-Giant, because when they play E-Giant in the back behind their tower, you can always get away with a Rocket on it, so should be pretty good here. And we did force him to overcommit on the hog, on the earlier hog with, like, a NATO and Cage, so now he doesn't have either one of those for this hog, and it should get a lot of damage there. Yeah. Alright, so we do always have to watch out for the Golden Knight, but luckily we do have bats to, like, damage stuff in the air a little bit better instead of having to just, like, set up stuff that would give Golden Knight value, so a little bit better for us. Alright, and he's gonna play a really weird Cage. Like, I don't know what the point of that was. I guess he was expecting us to have, like, EQ in our deck, so we went with, like, the high Cage, and he didn't pay attention to the fact that we had bats, I guess, or something. Not really sure what the point of that was, but I'll take it. Free good elixir trade. And by the way, guys, be really careful when you rocket Golden Knights. I just knew I could rocket there because I just knew he would have a slow reaction time, to be honest. So ended up hitting it, and it's always better to go with the rocket a little bit closer, or I mean like a little bit earlier than you think you should against a Golden Knight. That way, in case they go with the ability, you'll still hit the rocket on it. Alright, so he could lightning here, but honestly the Inferno Tower is still gonna clean it up really nicely. We'll always clean it up unless he goes with the lightning, but even if he does, it's still gonna survive a little bit. Firecracker is getting good chip damage. The only really scary thing here is the Golden Knight, but the thing is we've always been forcing him to go with the tornadoes on the Hog Rider, so he hasn't really been able to get like a good tornado plus Golden Knight push off, and should be GG here in a little bit. Just gonna need a couple logs and a rocket. Alright, so the Hog does get a hit, so that's gonna be GG here. Really easy win. Alright, in the next match here, we're gonna be up against this guy, and seems like we're getting a bit unlucky with our starting hands, never having Hog right away, but should be pretty fine. Just gonna cycle a log here. By the way, guys, I do see like some Hog players leaking at the start when they have like not the best starting hands, but to be honest, I'd almost always recommend making the first play. The only time I wouldn't make the first play is like if I want to cycle a EQ on their tower. I'd probably wait a few seconds before I do that, just to be safe. Okay, so this guy does have E-barbs, so probably gonna be some kind of weird bridge spam deck. Probably like the one with like a battle ram and all that spammy stuff. We do have to be a little bit more careful because we don't have like the Tesla or the bomb tower to kind of be like a secondary counter to like bandits and E-barbs and all that spammy stuff, so it is still going to clean up the battle ram pretty nicely, I guess, but it won't be like quite as good against all that stuff. And we're just going to go with a Hog Rider to kite here. We could have went with like a Firecracker, but I just want to save it just to defend other stuff when we need it. Alright, and Hog going to get 2 shots there, so really nice. And by the way, guys, even if you don't have Ice Spirit in cycle, you can still activate your King Tower off of Bandit using Skeletons plus Firecracker. So I think we're gonna get it here. And we do catch the Queen just in time as well, so really nice King activation there. I know a lot of people know that King activation against Bandit, but I don't really see almost anyone doing it, so if you guys ever have the opportunity to do it in a game, I always recommend doing it as soon as possible, because it just helps so much against these kind of matchups. Because at this point we can just lure all his spam units into the middle of the arena and the King Tower will just like destroy it completely. Alright, so he does go with the E-barbs here and the Heal Spirit, but gonna miss the Heal Spirit there, so pretty good stuff for us. And yeah, just gonna kite everything in the middle. Should be really easy defense here. Just have to watch out for his magic archer since we don't have like a EQ to finish it off. And he does actually give us the rocket value there on the Queen. Always really nice getting those free rockets when they don't expect you to have it. And yeah, you do have to watch out for the battle ram. He is going to go with the Heal Spirit as well, but should die before even connecting to the Inferno Tower. And yeah, you can just see how we're just kiting everything in the middle, and gonna go with a defensive Hog Rider here. He probably will go with like E-barbs, but shouldn't really matter too much because it got its value just by defending the bandit or whatever it was. And honestly, this matchup should be pretty easy for you guys most of the time. The only thing you have to worry about sometimes can be like the Heal Spirit getting a ton of value, which can happen sometimes, but that's gonna be GG here. Alright, hopping in the final match here, hopefully, for what should be the 12th win, if we do win. I'm gonna be up against this guy. Alright, so he's gonna bandit at the bridge. We don't have, like, skeletons in cycle, so we can't activate King Tower off the bandit, so just gonna take a knight on it. And he does have Mother Witch, so probably either gonna be another E-barbs bridge spam deck, or... Okay, so he does have Ram Rider, so it probably could be Pekka here. He does have arrows as well, kind of interestingly, but yeah, the really nice thing though is that nowadays, even though Inferno Tower isn't as good as it used to be, there's still like not very many decks with good resets. Like nobody really runs Zap anymore, so you do have a much better time with that. And by the way, guys, you can fully counter Emotes with skeletons if you get the perfect timing off like we did there. The way to counter is you just want to wait until it's like about to hit your tower, then you just push it off the tower with skeletons, and then it should fully counter every time, which is a really nice thing to know. Saves you like a few hundred damage oftentimes. Alright, so I'm just gonna chill out a bit here. Do have to be a little bit careful with his Mother Witch. Gonna kite the spammy stuff with the Hog Rider. He did end up going with the Mother Witch there anyways, but yeah, he has like 0 elixir to defend, so gonna take like most of his towers. Probably already gonna be GG here. Just need to either defend his Pekka with spam or Inferno Tower, and I think we'll just go with an Inferno Tower here, just to be a little bit safer. And he does go with the Ewiz there, but probably won't really matter at all. Inferno Tower gonna stay up as well in case he tries to spam us with something, so really good stuff here. Honestly, Mother Witch feels a lot weaker now after the nerf. Like, you can easily counter with like a Firecracker shot plus log, or just like a... I feel like anything plus log kills Mother Witch right now, so feels a lot better than it used to be. It still is a decent card though, but just not quite as good, and I kind of like that, to be honest. The only part I don't like of the Mother Witch nerf is the fact that it kind of made Graveyard busted right now, so yeah, there's not like as much to keep Graveyard in check, so it is kind of doing super well in the meta right now, which kind of sucks for a Hog player, because most of the time Graveyard does counter me, but I don't know, it's kind of fun playing Hog EQ against counters, to be honest, so even though Graveyard is meta, I do still enjoy it, of course, and yeah. And we are going to score the second Hog shot there, so it's probably going to be GG. We just need like a log to finish him off. Alright, thank you guys for watching, and see you in the next one. Bye!